at Denise Skuster's, and it's 2226 Berkeley Street. So we're gonna do bi-weekly maintenance here. Basically we have 3 hours to get through as much as possible, and we'll just get on a nice rotation with the front yard to the backyard. We need to get this ivy off this tree. Maybe if we cut from the bottom and pull, try and rip some of the ivy off, and maybe that can be something that we start to do once we start getting the rest of the yard under control. But there's definitely lots of suckers in and around this area and over on the side. And as we, with the budget, I want to be able to get this yard whipped into shape to where we can pay attention to more of the detail things like the window wells and, keeping the ivy cut back from the path, all the needles picked up, and just some trimming here and there with weeds. If this guy is still here when we get here next week, we can plant it for her. But these beds aren't too bad. She said she had just done them. Just some of the lilies probably need to cut back at this point, and the grass is taken out. And then in this bed there's just a little bit of debris and some morning glory that kind of creeps in all these beds. And then again, the lilies just cleaned up a bit. The anemone, which is this beautiful flower here, is spreading, so she kind of wants it contained. She doesn't want all these little guys coming in, so we'll keep those out, and just kind of keep it back there. But again, morning glory, some weeds in the cracks, spireas along the driveway, and again, the front doesn't look too bad. And then we come along the side, and some of the irises need cleaned up. Lavender can be deadheaded, but it's starting to push new growth, so just keep that in mind for next time. And the trumpet vine can be, kept trim out of the windows, and just sprucing up and weeding. So this first visit, we're going to come for 6 hours and work on getting the front dialed in and getting back here, getting some of these volunteers, the suckers from the tree. Cut the Oregon grape back a little bit, not too severe. Get in this bed, weeding, deadheading, and over in these beds over here, just some weeding and deadheading. There's some morning glory intertwined with this oregano. And then we are going to redo some of this area, but we can take out the lilies and scrub oak and volunteers. We can take out the lilies there. We can leave the ones in the back, but we're going to plant a shrub in this area. And then over here, just some trimming and deadheading and weeding in and throughout. And then as we progress through this yard, we have all of this St. John's wort, these patio areas that can be weeded and cleaned up, and this goldenrod can be like a weed, so thin it way back. I think the St. John's wort's much prettier back here. That pathway obviously needs weeded. The honeysuckle trimmed back and contained. Ivy kept nice, neat, and trimmed. The feverfew could probably come out just because it is like a weed. And just this area eventually just weeded and contained and trimmed. Then back here we were planning to redo stuff, so we won't worry about that too much until then. But again, just these shrubs trimmed up, the yarrow deadheaded, and just maintained. I think it'll be pretty simple to keep this yard looking very sharp. And that is it. We can make sure we blow off anything on the front porch and the walkways and the drive as usual. and then just keeping everything ship shape, and raking out the beds and getting rid of a lot of the debris. And that's a wrap.